morning. Northwest time is 6:52. It's time for your morning sprint.
Caroline Flynn live celebrating Senior Citizens Day.
And Caroline Rourke looking at our clear skies this morning.
But first to breaking news this morning. A U.S. soldier killed when his helicopter went down in Iraq on Sunday has been identified as 34-year-old Taylor Galvin from Spokane. Several others were injured. According to CNN, the soldiers were on a counterterrorism mission when the helicopter crashed. It is being investigated, but there are not any indications that the helicopter was shot down.
Also breaking this morning, the body of missing Iowa student Molly Tibbetts has been found. The 20-year-old was last seen jogging July 18th and was reported missing the next day. The University of Iowa student's disappearance sparked a massive search with more than 2,300 tips. It's not clear where she was found. A news conference is scheduled for later today.
We've now learned one person died in Sunday night's fire at a Spokane Valley condo complex. Investigators have not released the identity of the person who died or what started that fire, but neighbors say the victim was an older man who used an oxygen tank. 9 units were destroyed by the flames. The Red Cross is helping dozens of people who are now without a home.
The 38-year-old man who confessed to raping and molesting 5 children in Spokane County now faces up to life in prison. Dean Zumwalt was arrested in January for sexually abusing 2 young girls. In July, the investigation led to 3 other victims. Zumwalt is set to be sentenced at the end of this month.
Major improvements in our air quality from yesterday to today. We're going to kind of see that slow down a little bit as winds die down that push that smoke out of the way, but there are some changes in the 7-day forecast right now. In Spokane, it is 57 degrees, 53 in Coeur d'Alene, 45 in Deer Park, and 54 in Sandpoint. Today's highs a little warmer in the 80s, 82 in Deer Park, Spokane, and Pullman and Moscow, 83 in Bonners Ferry and Coeur d'Alene, and 78 in Sandpoint.
While air conditions have improved this morning, yesterday's hazardous air quality forced high school athletics to move inside. The Ferris girls soccer team did their drills at the gym after the football team finished on the court. Cross-country team even ran through the halls.
Today's air quality is better, but still in the unhealthy for sensitive groups range. That means if you are pregnant, a senior citizen, or you have breathing problems, you should stay inside as much as possible. Doctors want to remind you, though, it is important to try to stay active even when you are cooped up inside.
Well, today is finally the day that Spokane County's primary election results will be certified. All of the ballots have been counted, and according to the elections office, 46% of Spokane County voters turned out for this primary. That's the leading turnout among large counties in Washington state. Those ballots will become official at 1 o'clock today.
Ephrata police are still looking for an armed robbery suspect. The search for him led to a shootout with a different man near Soap Lake Sunday morning. Officers were looking for a man named Alfredo Silva at a home when Alejandro Rodriguez came out of a shed on the property, reached toward his waist and took cover. Rodriguez and 3 officers then began shooting at each other. Rodriguez was hit in the leg. No officers were harmed, but police never found Silva. He is wanted for robbery, assault, and unlawful possession of a firearm. If you have information, call the Grand County Sheriff's Office at 762-1160.
Spokane City Council has decided to establish a plan for the city to shift to 100% renewable energy by 2030. An independent panel will now help determine the best way to achieve the energy goal. During public comment at a meeting last night, supporters say the shift was a good way to counteract the impacts of climate change. Challengers said it's unnecessary and could end up costing taxpayers.
Well, it is Senior Citizen Day, so make sure you give a senior citizen in your life a hug and then maybe send them on down to the Corbin Senior Center. We visited there earlier this week, where every day is a party with a long list of activities that keep members' schedules booked up, from tap dancing and art lessons to more card games and trips around the world than you can count. We've got a link on KXLY.com with information on how you can get involved.
Next on Good Morning America, overnight, a 94-year-old New York man who officials call the last surviving Nazi collaborator was ordered out of America.
The Colorado father charged with murdering his whole family now claims his wife killed his kids.
Looking outside right now, it's a whole lot better than what we saw yesterday. Our air quality improved significantly yesterday into today. We're going to kind of stall a little bit here and maybe deteriorate tomorrow with some shifting winds before big changes come to the region on Thursday. Cold front bringing in clean, cooler winds.
Yeah, and at least our air quality index now like 127, which yesterday was way above 300, so that's good news.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It is now time for Good Morning America. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.